ideal, guys, I have to say. Oh, somehow we got that in. Nice one, Foden. 2-0. If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code REMA, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. What's up, guys? It's Ash here, and welcome back to a brand new video. Just before we get started, guys, I would like to thank you all for the support on the recent videos. They have been performing a lot better over the past few days. I think you guys are receiving the gameplay implementations quite well into the videos, so I am going to continue to do that in today's video as well, for example. And yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the videos a bit more. So yeah, we have some 4-3-2-1 custom tactics and instructions today, guys. Going to be completely honest, they're not too different as always because this game is very same old, but we will run through them, so you guys can copy them if you like, and then we'll also have some gameplay as mentioned, so you guys can see how we play with this formation in the game. So yeah, I hope that clears everything, guys. I hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, let's get right into it. Okay then, guys, so quickly running through the custom tactics. Like I said, they're not too dissimilar to what we normally rock, just a few minor tweaks, you know, because I'm very fidgety with them. But yeah, we're just going to quickly run through them. So the defensive style, guys, we pop this on balance. Now, the reason I always do this, I say it in pretty much every video, is because I think it gives you the best control over your defense. You know, when you want to press your opponent, for example, you can do that. And then when you want to maybe drop back, be a bit more passive, you can also do that. So I think balanced is just the way to go. But you guys might disagree, and that is fine. If you want to use a pressure tactic, go right ahead, you know. Don't feel like you have to copy everything. If you feel like you might, you know, do better with a tweak on a certain thing, then that's absolutely perfect. Go ahead and do that. These are just like a guideline, if you will. So for the defensive width, guys, moving on, we have this on 45. Now, what I would recommend is anywhere between 40 and 50 on the slider. Now, the reason I think this is the sweet spot is because it does give you that narrow and compact defense, which what this does allows you to block out all those attacks through the middle, which is very important because you don't want your opponent just running right through the middle of you. The reason we don't go any lower than this, and let's say like 30, is because you still need to have, you know, some width to the defense to cover the wider areas in case an opponent goes for an attack down the wing. So the idea is to be narrow in your defense, but not too narrow to the point where the wings are just free for your opponent. So yeah, we have it on 45, and moving on, guys, we have the depth on 65. Now, this is one of the things where it's completely down to preference. If you're one of the people that loves having that automatic press from the AI, you know, you're quite aggressive, and you struggle a bit defensively, then 71 depth is great because you do get quite a lot of assistance from the AI because they start pressing everyone, and it makes it very difficult for your opponent to play through you. If you're a bit like me, however, and you have quite a lot of experience with manual defending, you've played like some of the older FIFAs, your defending skills, you would say, are pretty good, I suggest going for like something like 60 or 65 because you still get that higher defensive line, but you just have a bit more control over when you press your opponent. So I like 65. Sometimes I drop it to 60, and then if the gameplay is horrendous and my players won't run properly, I'll even lower it to 55. So you can just use a depth that, that you feel comfortable with, pretty much. Moving on to the build-up play, guys, I would highly recommend balance because I think it's the best for all types of build-up in this game. What I mean by this is if you like to play slow, I think slow build-up sucks. If you want to play quick, I think fast build-up sucks. Now, the reason I think these settings suck is because EA don't really know how to code them properly. When you use slow build-up, for example, you'd think it'd be good. You'd think, you know, your players would move around so you can build up the pitch quite slowly, but this isn't the case. All they do is they make it so your AI barely moves at all, so it's not ideal. Fast build up, your players just move around like maniacs and not in a good way. So balance is the best in my opinion for any type of build up. Now for the chance creation, guys, direct passing is an absolute must in my opinion. Now I know a lot of people hate this, but I have to stress it is very important to consistently create chances in this game. If your opponent is parking the bus and you don't use direct passing, you're going to struggle a lot of the time because your players just will not make the runs to beat those AI defenders. When you use direct passing, guys, it's very much like a push forward, track back kind of style. So your attackers make the runs, defenders follow the attackers making the run, and then once the defender has overcommitted to the run that the attacker has made, then your attacker will then track back. So then there is a lot of space between that defender and the attacker so that you can cut back or pass across to them. So this is why it's described as the cutback rat meta, because that's what this is. But yeah, moving on to the attacking width, guys. I have this bang in the middle on 50. I don't really tweak this at the moment. You know, I don't want it to be crazy narrow and I don't want it to be too wide either. This just seems to be alright, but adjust it to whatever you want. For the players in the box, I've upped this to 7. This is so we can be quite aggressive, get quite a few players into the box, but we don't want to push it all the way because it's still important to, you know, have a few players back in case we lose the ball. We don't want to get counter-attacked. For the corners, I have it on 2 because sometimes I like to cross it in, other times I don't, and again, I don't want to overcommit. And then the free kicks, because I barely cross it, I just have it on 1, but you know, you guys can tweak these however you like. Now, for the player instructions, guys, the striker, we pop them on stay central and get in behind. Stay central is very important because you primarily want them to be in the middle areas. You don't need them to cover the wings, as we already have like the left and right forward and occasionally a fullback. So you want this player to be in the middle so that they can be relied upon. Otherwise, you might struggle for consistency. I also suggest get in behind, so it always forces the run out the player and then not, you know, static. This is very important, especially against people that are using high press or that 71 depth thing, because if you have your player on mixed attack, they just barely move at all. Now, moving on to the left forward, I also have them on stay central and get in behind for similar reasons to the striker. Stay central is really important though on this left forward, I think, because it keeps them in those more narrow channels. You know, if you have them on balance whip, sometimes they drift out a bit too far wide and it's a bit more of a 4-3-3, which you don't always want in this formation. Now, for the right forward, guys, we have them on get in behind and come back on defense. Now, the reason we do this is because it makes it defend in a 4-4-2 shape. If we have this player on come back on defense, this player will come back to defend as a right mid in the 4-4-2 shape. So the reason we do this is because the 4-4-2 is a very good defensive formation. It's good at covering both those narrow areas with the 2 centre mids and also the wider areas with this right mid and the left mid. So this right forward obviously comes back to defend as the right mid, and then this left centre mid will defend as the left mid. So that's kind of how it works. And then again, get in behind so that they actually make runs. Now for this middle centre mid, guys, we have them on stay back and cover centre. So this is my more defensive minded midfielder. We don't want this player flying forward, you know. This guy is the more defensive one, so we need him to stay back to bring that balance to the midfield, you know. It doesn't matter if you have really, you know, good attacking players. If you don't have that balance in the midfield, you're going to get cooked. So have at least one of these on stay back while attacking, and I suggest this middle one here and on cover centre so that they will defend as one of those 2 centre mids in the 4-4-2 shape. Now for this right centre mid, guys, we use a more box-to-box style midfielder, so somebody that has a bit more of a free roll, you know, they'll attack and defend, so you kind of just leave them alone, let them do what they want. And yeah, don't really touch them. The only thing you want to change is cover centre so that they will defend as one of those 2 centre mids in the 4-4-2 shape. Now for this left centre mid, guys, like I said, it defends in a 4-4-2. So on this cover wing instruction, this player will defend as a left midfielder. So what you can do is use a more attacking minded player here. You know, you could use like a Messi or an Mbappe. You can pretty much use whoever you want and pop them on the get forward and get into the box for cross instructions so that you have like an extra attacker. Now it is a bonus if you could have somebody like Rolfo, somebody that's really good in both the attack and the defense and has that high work rate, but it's not an absolute necessity. You know, you can just use an attacker here, pop them on that cover wing instruction, and they'll defend as that left mid in the 4-4-2 when you don't have the ball. Now for the fullbacks, guys, whichever one is the most attacking minded one, pop them on balanced and overlap. Now the reason this is good is because, like I said, this formation can be quite narrow, so sometimes you need that wider option, you need that angle, you need somebody to help you stretch the opponent's defense, and this is what that fullback does. So on the overlap run type, they will, you know, give you that extra width, and then they'll make the run when they see fit on that balanced attack instruction. So my right back is on balanced overlap, and then my more defensive fullback, my left back is on stay back and overlap. So we always have at least 3 defenders back at a time, but when we send them on that run forward, just like the other fullback, they'll add that width, you know, to give us that wider option. Now for the 2 centre backs, of course I leave them alone, and then the keeper I also leave them alone. But yeah, guys, there are the tactics and the instructions. Let's go get into a game real quick. There we go. Nice one, Foden. Sorry, guys, I'm having to focus up quite a lot because this gameplay, even though it's like night time for me, it just feels super heavy. Like my players just take ages to get going, to pass the ball, and it just feels like there's a lot of emphasis right now. You know, this game's always pretty emphasized, but at the moment it just feels, you know, even worse than normal, which is, you know, not ideal, guys. I have to say. Oh, somehow we got that in. Nice one, Foden. 2-0. Yeah, it might not always look it on the recordings, guys, but honestly, this game, when it feels heavy, it's just stressful, man. It really is. Take the corner. Yeah, you just have to like bang a lot of finesse shots and long shots, you know, when you can. When the gameplay feels a bit slow, because getting to like the penalty box is just a bit painful, I'll be honest, you know. It's very difficult. Good job I caught that while it was doing it, guys. That was lagging. My Elgato was lagging again. This game's garbage. That should not be a goal. But that's what you have to do, man. I try and not do it, but at the end of the day, if you go to that byline and cut back, it's just a goal. So, although I don't like it, it's important to show you guys that play style, you know, because we all have to do it. Ooh, that was risky. Perfectly timed. Good goal, Cafu. There we go. I think that should be that. Yeah, it is. Let's go then, guys. So yeah, that's basically it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Sorry if I did complain a little bit during the tactics and the gameplay. It's just when this game's a bit heavy, it's just very difficult to play. So I hope you guys understand that. If you enjoyed or found it useful, please be sure to drop it a like. It does really help me out. Sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And with all that aside, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Take care.